You guys know what I like to do after a nap? I like to look at some baseball cards. Pepino Man told me something one time that was brilliant. He said when it comes to vintage cards, it's okay to have more than one copy because no two vintage cards are the same. And it's so true. If you take a bunch of the same vintage card, some have fish eyes, some have lighter ink, some have darker ink. The cuts are different. And if you lined up 10 of the same vintage card, chances are they don't look identical like modern cards do. Now the thing for me is vintage cards. Vintage cards to me are special because they were distributed. They were opened by kids, they were played with, they were kept in people's collections, they were carried around, they were traded. Some of them were flipped. And so like the new cards, which I also collect, and this is not a knock on new cards, it's the difference, is that you open it and immediately goes into a holder or to PSA, or both. So the card is never, ever circulated. It's from a pack, that's it. It comes straight out of the pack in pristine condition. And that's the beauty of vintage cards. That said, I wanted to show you a couple of pickups because I have a true one of one here. A true one of one, two true one of ones of two different Hall of Famers. And they're vintage. They're not stamped one of one by Topps or Panini. They're not there's 10,000 of them, but there's only 110. So they're not one of one that way. They're one of one in that they're the only cards that look the way they do. Now, I may be the only person on the planet, the only collector that would have bought this card. But I specifically wanted it and had to have it as soon as I saw it. And this is a Warren Spahn rookie card. And it's miscut with part of the top card on it. Now, I have a whole secondary collection of miscut cards. And they are true one of one. Try to find another one of these babies. It's a card I've been wanting recently, never had one. And when I saw this, it was like seeing that stray kitten out in your backyard that didn't have any food or something. It was like I needed to give it a good home. And I picked up another card. Now I paid more than my normal $3 for this one, so shh, don't tell my wife. This is one of the greatest defensive linemen to ever play. He claims he is the all-time sack leader. They didn't keep sack stats when he played. And it's a Deacon Jones rookie card. There's no creases or anything in it, but it's a vintage card. And I paid $10 for it. Shh. Little more than $3. Now I have a card from the Black Swamp Find. This is 3-finger brown. It's graded a 7.5, but I mean it's a perfect card for an early 1900s card. It's perfect. And if you see this in person, it looks fake. Vintage cards aren't supposed to look this way. And why do the Black Swamp Find cards look this way? They look this way because they were never distributed. They were kept in a box. They were a salesman's sample, kept in an attic box, never distributed like they were intended. And so this to me is almost a fake card. Now this is one of the most historic finds in history, so I wanted to own at least one card from that find. And it's a beautiful card, come on. but it was never distributed. It's almost like a proof card or a sample card or something. For me, it's the cards that are circulated. To each his own, right? But I tell you, the way that prices have been going up and the craze over PSA 10s and high grades, it has pushed me back. It has made me, I've started to seek out lower graded cards, ones that I just like, the way I used to, before I allowed PSA and the hobby to kind of wrap me up in that a little bit. I'll be honest. You get wrapped up in that sometimes. And I'm going back. There's absolutely nothing wrong with collecting vintage cards like this. In fact, it's awesome. And man, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. And chasing those 10s and paying 100,000 times more. So that's what I have for you right now. Thanks for watching.